and welcome back to 30 Days of Christmas. This is day 2 and I'm still on time. And honestly, I feel like everybody should just start clapping for me right now because I don't even have Pop with me and I'm still doing this. Like, you're not finna front on me. Get it done, USA. Period. Okay? Just in case you see me looking this way, Pop is sickly in the bed. For y'all who don't know, I call my husband Pop. I think y'all new people might not really know like that. Anyways, today about to be like short and sweet because we got to make a video every day for 30 days. So your girl just ain't got time to be like editing all day. I don't do the editing. I got a sickly man in the bed that's actually doing the editing. So y'all see how that go. Real quick. If you are new to our channel, we do everything Colorado and moving out of state. If that's something you're interested in, please hit that subscribe button. Hit your girl up on Instagram at a cup of cocoa _ a glass of wine. Please do look down in the description box because if you have questions, don't fret. We're here for you. You can book a call with us if you click the link down below. And I'll be ready to be like, girl, what's up? Tell me what you got going on. What kind of questions you got? Blah, 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 blah. You know, we can chop up. We can talk about your man who ain't shit if you want to. Whatever. Anyways, today we're going to talk about how much does it cost to move a family of our size out of state. Now, let's clarify what we're talking about. We're talking about the physical move. We're not talking about the entire preparation up until that point. Now, a lot of y'all who've been here for a while know that we lived tiny for a while. So there will be a second segment of items that I will talk about as specifically to the way that we relocated, which is in an RV. So we're going to talk about things like gas, how much food we spend, lodging, things like that. And this video is probably going to be all of 7 minutes because it's really quick. The reason why I chose to do this video is because I feel like when people decide to move out of state, they get it in their mind that this is going to cost them so much money that they got to be saving for 1,000 years. Now, if you've watched our previous videos, I am an advocate for saving, but I'm an advocate for saving with how much physical dollars you can bring to start your life here or in whatever state you want to locate to. I'm not an advocate for let's travel there the most expensive way we can. So just a brief onset. A lot of you guys know that we sold everything to relocate. So we had a full 4-bedroom apartment full of furniture, beds, brand new furniture, and we sold all of that. And a lot of people have hit me up and said, that is insane that y'all sold y'all furniture that y'all bought for basically I think we paid $3,000 for it. And y'all sold it for way less than that. But I'm going to be honest with y'all, it's not insane because we literally didn't come out of pocket outside of the money that we made from that to travel here. So let's talk about it. So I got my little list because y'all know I'm like the queen of lists. So the first thing we're going to talk about is obviously if you're coming here, you got to figure out if you're going to drive or you're going to fly. We decided to drive. The reason why we decided to drive is because we have a family of 6. And tickets to fly here, number one, was extremely expensive. But another thing I need y'all to consider is whenever you fly here, that means now you have to figure out how you're going to get your car here if you have a car that you bring in. Now, if you have a family of maybe like 2 or 3 and you don't have a specific date that you need to be here and you live in a place like New York City and you don't have a car, I recommend that you sell all your stuff in New York, use that money for a down payment for a car here if you're not going to live in the city, and fly here because it's cheaper for a smaller family to get here probably through flying because you can pick the date and y'all know how that works. And you only need a one-way ticket, so keep that in mind. But for us, it's 6 people in my family. We have 4 kids. We had all of this stuff that we needed to bring with us. We had 2 cars, so on and so forth. So the first thing that we got was an expense was the gas because we drove. Now, if you're new here, then you probably don't know why this is such a huge thing. But if you're not new here, then you know that we have a truck, a suburban truck, and then we also have a smaller car. And the suburban truck at the time pulled our travel trailer. So we spent $500 in gas. Now we came from Houston, Texas, so I think it's roughly 1,200 miles, babe. It's 1,200 miles. So being that we had 2 cars and one of those cars was pulling a trailer, I think $500 is pretty good. We traveled over the span of 5 days. We traveled over the span of 5 days. So just to give you an example, when you're pulling something, it's a little bit harder to basically you can't. It's more exhausting. So you can't just drive, for hours and hours and hours like you regularly would be. If you're not living that lifestyle when you first get here, then if you only got one car, honestly, you and your mate, or if it's just you, can like drive and y'all can switch out. And if it's just you will need to take some breaks depending on where you're coming from. So that's 2 cars, and one of the cars pulling the RV. Then the next category I have is RV park / lodging. Okay, if you have to stop, you will have to stay somewhere. So with that being said, there's going to be hotel cost or lodging cost factored into your moving. Big pro tip: call ahead and pre-plan your trip. So we already knew where we were stopping, and I had already booked ahead of time where we were going to be stopping. We spent about $400 in RV parks and lodging because we stopped a total of 4 times. So we, each time it was like a little bit over $100. If you don't know anything about RVing, then they charge you according to how many people you have. So if you are RVing and it's just you, or if it's just you and 2 people, your fees are probably going to be a little less. The third category is food. So the food category is $100. Now I'm going to be pretty frank with you guys. We saved a lot of money here because when we went to RV parks, I stocked the fridge before we left in Houston, where groceries are cheap. And so when we pulled in for the night to park, I was able to actually cook dinner. So we didn't eat dinners out. We ate only like lunch, really, because before we left, I would make breakfast and then we would stop and get lunch and maybe a snack or something like that, or coffee along the way for me and Trey because we were driving. But we ate breakfast and dinners at the RV. So that made our budget extremely small for food. $100 for a family of 6 over 4 days is absurd. So then moving to the next category, these are things that are specifically for RV lifestyle. We traveled here in an RV, and so one of the things that happened is we realized that our tires were rotted on the RV, so we had to replace all 4 RV tires. That cost us $236. And then these are the things that we had to do to actually have the physical move that I see as a part of the physical move. So the RV was $7,000. The truck was $1,500. The storage that we use, we have a storage back home for things that we were like, this ain't gonna fit in the RV. Once we get settled, we'll come back and get these things. It's $44. And then we parked the RV at an RV park in Houston because as many of y'all know, we lived in Beaumont. We parked that RV there for about a month for $336. So those are costs that are associated with the RV lifestyle. But if you are not RVing, then honestly, we spent a total of $900 relocating. So just to put that in perspective, because a lot of y'all be like, oh my God, sis, I gotta save so much money because I gotta do this and do that. Sis, if I can relocate 6 people for $900, you got this. Like, for real. It's not what y'all think. The biggest thing is having money to fall back on when you get here and to establish yourself when you get here. I feel that if it was an individual person, you could have really got here for $500 if you worked it right. Maybe even less. Families of 3, $600. I feel like $600 to $700, because a lot of what ate up our budget was gas, which a lot of it was because we had 2 vehicles we were coming here with, right? But even for our family size, $900 is really not a lot. So the biggest thing is figuring out how you're going to establish yourself once you get here. So y'all have to redirect your mind. Start thinking about the other things, like how is my furniture going to get here if I'm not going to sell it? How am I going to get an apartment? Am I going to get an apartment online? Am I going to get an apartment when I get there? And that type of stuff is what you really got to worry about. Trust me, the getting here part is the easy part. So, real quick, y'all can see that it really wasn't all that. I feel like that was the easiest part. I really do. Everything else, the logistics behind moving, besides actually doing it, was actually the hardest and most stressful part to me. So, I know I'm not as funny as my husband. It's cool though, because he'll be back. I don't know when he will be back, but he will be back. And I promise he didn't leave me. He's sitting there on the bed. I swear. That's where he is. Babe, say something.
Yo.
He got asthma. And so I'm trying to keep him resting so he can get back together. Because, you know, if he go to the hospital, they're going to try to say he got that Rona. And I ain't got time for that. So hit us up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Hit the notification bell. I will see y'all tomorrow. Probably not going to have pop with me again. But you know what? It's okay. Sometimes you got to get out here and hold it down.